Hello, Blast 6 and Equestron back again with some tier list, some quick tier lists, and then one big thought experiment. As you can
Looking
see,
forward to that one.
yeah, as you can see, Korra no Kaseki and Legend of Yuta Boundless Trails are both put in, haven't played yet because they haven't been released yet. Same goes for Zero, and same goes for Azure. So, oh, and Trails into Reverie.
Yeah, well, they'll be released eventually.
Yeah, all four of these will be released soon enough. Now let's get on to the mean potatoes. Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky, the first. I'm gonna put it in B rank.
Okay, what's
Wait, no, A rank.
Uh-oh, it's going higher.
What?
So is that like for the very? Is that like the very first game?
Yeah, that's the first game in the franchise.
Cool. And these
Yeah,
these characters like appeared in the Cold Steel series, right?
yeah, it's Estelle and Joshua Bright.
Okay.
They're technically not siblings, but yeah, it's like one of those. It's the fact that this game succeeds at actually pulling off the step sibling romance thing.
Mhm.
Is quite astonishing that most anime can't pull that crap off.
And ironically, Cold Steel struggles at it.
Uh,
Right.
I wouldn't say that it has it at all.
Yeah, it just refuses to do it. Is what I
Probably for good reason.
probably for good reason.
Yeah. Yeah. Like the characters, Tita, Agate, Sherazard,
mm,
Estelle, Joshua. It's just like they're all great characters,
mm,
and just like seeing them become junior bracers is just really great to see.
mm.
And then we get to Trails in the Sky second chapter, where things take quite a bit of a turn due to
Mm.
revelations about Joshua's past, the introduction of Ouroboros, Ren, another character that's very important,
Mm.
and just like the plans in the background of Laburl.
Mhm.
That's just a fantastic game. Better than the original by quite a margin.
Mhm.
Um, Trails in the Sky, the third, I'd say, is pretty much neck and neck with it.
Okay.
This takes place right after second chapter, and it involves the Church of Saros. Wait,
Mhm.
wait, that's not right. Just like some church shenanigans, and then everybody comes together in like a big like magic event thing that summons everybody, and
Mhm.
it's weird. It's weird, and but it's fun, and it's good.
Mhm.
It's the yeah. Um, it's hard to describe without going into spoilers.
Right. That makes sense.
Yeah, all right, and then we move on to the first game of the Cold Steel saga.
Yeah, I think an A rank
Yeah,
is appropriate for the first Cold Steel game.
yeah. Actually, you know what? Yeah, Sky is better,
Oh, okay. But yeah,
but
like
only just.
yeah. But yeah, I really enjoyed the first Cold Steel game. It was a good introduction because I've never played the Trails in the Sky series. Like, I had no idea that it was following a pre-established continuity at the time. I was just like looking for a game that was like, oh, give me a game that's like sort of like Persona in a sense where it's like a school thing and get to hang out with a bunch of different characters and do a storyline. But this one hit the right spot, and I really enjoyed my time with it. The story was good. Was I did enjoy that. You know, it was kind of it kind of hit a point where like, okay, it's gonna wrap up, and then all of a sudden just it hits you with a cliffhanger in the last chapter. I'm like, oh, okay. It's like, and then that's when you find out, oh, this is actually a series. There's actually more of these.
Yeah. Yeah. Hold on. Yeah. The ending was so gripping for me that I immediately went and bought The Legend of Heroes: Trails of Cold Steel 2, which for a while I considered the best game in the franchise.
Yeah, it is. I think it is. It is definitely like a step up from the first game, and then you know that's a high bar to clear, considering how good the first game was. Like my only real issue with Cold Steel 2, especially when playing on the PS4, is that I had a lot of crashes in it. It's like it felt kind of glitchy in that sense.
I don't think it
But
crashed at all for me.
yeah, for some reason it crashed a lot for me. But I think it was also because I was playing it in like the sort of unofficial 60 FPS mode, where you just where it's the turbo mode, because that was also kind of my issue with the first two Cold Steel games was that the cutscenes felt really slow in terms of movement and animation, and so when I put it in turbo mode, it felt a lot better paced. It's really weird to say that, but I think it was probably because of that the game crashed a lot. And so I was like, did anyone like playtest like someone trying to do this, playing the whole game in this mode? But that so pretty much it was probably my fault that it was like that more than the actual games.
I see. All right, and then we got Cold Steel 3, which I think is the weakest of the franchise that I've played so far.
Yeah, I mean, I'd probably say so too. Even though like I'm like pretty much at the end of it. I think even though I'm enjoying it. I think my issue with Cold Steel 3 is that it feels like it's building up to the cliffhanger rather than what Cold Steel 1 did, which is give you a story and then all of a sudden like surprise you with a cliffhanger ending. While Cold Steel 3 feels like it's building up to ending off on like on a moment where it's like, oh, you have to play the next one in order to
It
figure out what's
yeah,
going on.
it helps that if you played Cold Steel 1 and 2
Mm-hmm.
and such beforehand,
Uh-huh.
but I definitely get what you mean. I feel the exact
Yeah.
same way on it.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, like a lot of Cold Steel 3 is about introducing the new characters along with reacquainting you with all the other characters, and that feels like 80% of the game.
it to compare it to something that might be a bit more comparable, Avengers
Mm-hmm.
Infinity War to Avengers Endgame,
Right.
where and like that instance, the sequel is much better and easily the best in the franchise. Cold Steel
Mm-hmm.
4 is my favorite game of all time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I keep hearing like people like saying like like Cold Steel 4 makes the weaknesses of Cold Steel 3 like worth getting through because Cold Steel 4 pays off everything
Yeah,
that the franchise that the series had set up
the
prior.
easily the best story in the franchise. You
Mm-hmm.
get to play as so many characters, and it ties and it interweaves the Crossbell and Liberl arcs. Have yet to
Mm-hmm.
see Crossbells, but we'll see those soon enough.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's just absolutely the best game in the franchise for me.
Mm-hmm.
It brings back a few select things from Cold Steel 2. Not everything, but it's fine.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, because I think like Overdrive is the only thing that's never been carried over from Cold Steel 2.
Yeah, that I miss overdrives.
Yeah, Overdrives are really fun. I was actually really surprised that Cold Steel 3 didn't have them, and then of course now I'm surprised that Cold Steel 4 doesn't have them.
Yeah, but yeah, it's just like And I hear that Reverie might be able to actually topple Cold Steel 4, but maybe not. Who knows?
Hmm. I
But
mean, because Reverie is already out in Japan, right?
yeah,
All right, and so I think I was hearing some like positive buzz around that, where fans are like, "Yeah, this is really good. Can't wait for it to come out in America."
yeah, I'm looking forward to the Crossbell Saga first and foremost, as that's
Uh,
getting released first.
yeah.
And apparently, if rumors and trends are to be believed, we might get all four games by this time sooner than expected.
Hmm.
Maybe.
Yeah, because Trails in the Sky is coming to PS4, right?
Didn't isn't it already on PS4?
I thought it was like on PS3 or Vita or something like that.
Who knows? But yeah, definitely
Because
one.
I don't remember it. I know it's on Steam because that's probably where you played it, right?
Yeah, I played. Yeah, I played the Sky trilogy on Steam.
Yeah, I don't think the Sky series has made it to consoles, at least current gen consoles.
Yeah. All right. And with that, that's the Trail series. Next, we
Woo.
move on to the Nintendo consoles and handhelds.
Yeah, I'm familiar with most of those.
Yeah, let's get this out of the way.
Yeah, let's put that. I was about to say let's put that in F. Just-
Nobody played this thing, and nobody should play this thing.
it's like nobody played this thing, and whoever played it didn't like it. I remember playing it when they did when the Toys R Us had like a display model. Remember those where you could play a game system in a store.
Yeah.
As I had and so they had the Virtual Boy. I was like, oh, that's so cool. Let me see what that's like. Put my face in there for 5 minutes. I was like, no, I'm good.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. I think. I'm. Let's start with the NE. Let's have a cutoff point of anything from the NES onward because I noticed like at least two things here that I definitely don't have experience with.
Right.
Yeah. Let's see.
Yeah, it's like I'm familiar with everything except for those two that you just pointed out.
I'm gonna put the Game Boy at C.
Yeah, it's a good first effort but it definitely had a lot of limitations
Yeah.
to it. But it's not like it wasn't fun. But when you look at it now, it's like yeah, this is a bit jank.
Yeah.
But it's their first one, so I'll give them some slack.
The Game Boy Color goes slightly above it because you can play all Game Boy games, but now in color.
Yeah.
Well, most of them at the very least, I think.
So yeah, playing Pokemon Blue with the color blue, it's so great. I thought that was kind of funny.
Let's see. Let's see. I'm
And
gonna
you wanted to the NES first? Yeah, there you go.
put the NES at C because
Mm,
it has a lot of cultural significance, saving the video game market, obviously.
yeah, yeah. But I personally, I don't think I've ever played a game on the NES. I think because my first video game system was the SNES.
Yeah, mine too.
Yeah. Yeah, and then that was because at the time my parents couldn't afford an N64, but they still wanted to get me and my sister a console, so they got the SNES.
Yeah, my dad had a Super Nintendo,
Uh huh.
and yeah, I don't know.
Mm. But I loved the SNES. I'd probably put it in A rank, honestly. Like it had like a lot of games on it, and like
I
and I totally had like a lot of fun playing it
Yeah,
when I was a
I
kid.
I didn't play nearly as many proper SNES games than I should
Mm.
have. Like I played Mario World, Zombies Ate My Neighbors, but like a few
Hmm.
random other ones.
Hmm.
I
What's funny is that I remember playing Bart's Nightmare on the SNES, and I had no idea people hated that game until like recently. Because
Yeah.
at the time I was like a huge Simpsons fan, so I was like, oh cool, a Bart's Nightmare game. I played it, and it wasn't exactly fun, but I was just like, okay, well whatever. And then now years later, people make videos about how awful that game was, and that kind of gets a laugh out of me.
Yeah. N64 will go in B
Hmm.
because it did not have nearly as many games that people loved as much as the Super Nintendo.
Yeah, it was a good system, but it didn't have a lot of games on it.
Yeah.
That the Game Boy Advance, or no?
Yeah, the Game Boy Advance.
Oh, okay,
Wait, yeah, there we go. Yeah,
okay, just
because
different models.
yeah, the original actually, yeah, OG GBA does not is not better than the Super Nintendo, but the
Okay.
addition of a backlight and the clamshell screen for the SP make it better.
Mm.
Yeah, because the original Game Boy Advance didn't come with a backlight.
Yeah. Yeah, like lagging was definitely an issue with their handhelds for a while. Now it's good. Now it's better.
Yeah. Let's see.
That's the regular DS.
Yeah.
It That was definitely an enjoyable system. That's because I played the first Phoenix right on the DS, and I used to play the Speed Racer game on the DS.
Yeah, I
But
yeah, for Ace Attorney, Pokemon Diamond
uh
and Pearl, New Super
yeah.
Mario Brothers.
Mm.
Yeah, those are all great memories.
Mm.
I'm gonna put the GameCube. Uh, yeah, yeah, here
Okay.
because it had some of my favorite games of all time. Uh,
Mm.
well, more so what used to be my favorite game of all time, namely Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door,
Mm.
Smash Bros. Melee, uh, Chibi Robo. What else? I'm trying to remember what other games there were. There were like a lot of really good ones.
Mm.
This is the first console to have Resident Evil 4.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
Back when the Shinji Mikami said if it ends up on any other system, I'm going to cut off my own head with a chainsaw.
Yeah, and speaking of
And
which, the Wii goes just above that because it was able to play GameCube games and do more than that.
yeah, I was actually surprised that its successor couldn't play GameCube games, but we'll get to that.
Uh,
But but yeah, the Wii was definitely like a big like hot ticket item for a while. It did sell like 117 million units or something.
yeah, I think so.
Yeah, and so even though it wasn't like HD like quality graphics, it was still like the games on it were so good that people didn't care.
Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword, Super Smash Bros. Brawl.
Yep. And then they made a Wii version of Resident Evil 4, which
Which
of
is,
which some people would say is actually the best version of the game because of the motion controls.
yeah. Let's see. Hold on. Yeah.
Yeah, I have to reduce the margin slightly, but it print on the whole page. Okay.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, no problem.
Just tried to take care of something. Anyway,
Yeah, it's all good.
let's see. The Wii U.
I actually really like the Wii. I still have my Wii U, and I think it gets a bad rap just because of its at the time its dual screen. People weren't really ready for that, and but I really enjoyed all the games I played on it. Like I really enjoyed playing like the Ninja Gaiden 3 update that they made for it, which actually made the game good. I enjoyed Wind Waker, and I enjoyed Tokyo Mirage Sessions, Xenoblade Chronicles, and currently playing Xenoblade Chronicles X on it, and currently playing Twilight Princess on it. And I could also play Wii games,
Yeah.
and I think but I think because it didn't really do a lot to differentiate itself from the previous Wii, other than better graphics. I think people, and also that big bulky touchscreen. I think that's when people were just like, we're not interested in it. But it's nice to see that people nowadays have been coming around, being like, this system was pretty good. It's just unfortunate that it didn't get the chance it should have had back when it came out.
Yeah, the only reason why it's lower than the Wii is because the Wii can play both Wii and GameCube games.
Yeah.
The Wii U can play Wii and Wii U games, but I'd say the library for the Wii U is a bit weaker than because 3D World is not as good as Galaxy or Galaxy 2.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say that Wind Waker and Twilight Princess HD were good. The Virtual Console was mostly the same as the Wii one.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I definitely consider it not good in that regard. Now we move on to the 3DSs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the four updated DS models.
I don't know which one this is.
I don't know. I think it might be an updated version of the DS.
Oh, okay. Then in that case, yeah. Actually, yeah. Now that I look at it, it probably is the DS. Oh, wait, it's no. That's the DSi.
Oh, okay.
Oh, so that it goes lower.
Okay, what was the difference between that? Was it just smaller or something?
It can't play Game Boy Advance games.
Oh yeah, I think that's the one I used to have. Yeah, that was pretty lame.
But it did have like some DSiWare things, so yeah, there you go. So yeah. Yeah. And then we have the regular 3DS, which is not quite as good as the as that. But then the new 3DS is more powerful than the original.
Yeah.
And then 2DS is just like how it plays, like it's just garbage design on that front.
But yeah, because that one doesn't fold, right?
Yeah, the new 2DS XL probably is the best version of the 3DS if you don't like 3D.
Right.
So that's why it goes all the way over there.
Yeah, I genuinely enjoy the 3DS. I still have mine because I still got games on it and everything.
Yeah. And we move on to the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, which is obviously like an S-rank system. No, that was around that time where Nintendo was like, okay, we'll be cooler now and not censor our games.
Yeah, well, and the lights go all the way down here because they're portable only, and you can't play them on TV.
Yeah. I mean, I suppose that's sort of the point, but I prefer it to be attached to my TV.
Yeah, exactly. All right, and I guess that's it for that.
Yeah, because I don't think we've ever played those two things. I don't even know what those are.
Yeah.
I think I might know what the thing on the right is, but I can't put my finger on what it was called.
I'm not sure. Yeah. All right. Just give me a moment, and I'll be right back. Well, you is there any consoles or handhelds that you want to go in more depth with while I go do something real quick?
No, I'll probably just chat about things like my consoles I've been wanting to play but haven't gotten it yet.
Okay.
All right. So, I've actually been interested in getting a GameCube at some point. But then again, I think maybe I should just go for the Wii because I try doing the best research I can in some areas, and when it comes to the GameCube Wii backwards compatibility, I always look into which system played the old games better. Like like the game, just getting a regular GameCube get you the best quality, or just playing it on the Wii give you the best quality, because you get to sometimes you get reports about games performing poorly when you backwards compatibility it. That's not really a sentence, but I'm sorry. Um, yeah, because when the PlayStation 3 came out, it didn't really play PS1 games. It didn't play a select amount of PS1 games all that well, and I noticed that Final Fantasy 8, when I tried to play it on my PS3, like, it worked, but the um, battle transition graphics, like, it looked off compared to everything else. Once I played it on digitally, then I realized like how poor it was. But maybe, but then I realized, then I found out that the Wii plays GameCube games almost better than the actual GameCube does. So maybe I'll get a Wii at some point in time just to play GameCube games on it.
Yeah.
And since the mouse is moving, I assume that you're back, Block.
Yeah. All right. So now we're going to be going into a little thought experiment that I considered. It's pretty much confirmed that Universal Studios is going to be getting a third gate soon called Epic Universe.
Mm-hmm.
But that's still kind of up in the air. Well, not up in the air necessarily. Just
What are they planning on being a part of the Epic universe?
I don't know, but that's what we are here to surmise.
Mm,
Yeah, see, announced that it was building a third thing called Epic Universe.
mm. Probably just gonna be all minions.
Yeah.
Minions universe.
Well, no. It's rumored that to be 5 lands, including a central hub, and 4 other areas themed to How to Train Your Dragon, Wizarding Paris and New York from Fantastic Beasts, Universal Classic
Mm,
Monsters, and Super Nintendo World.
mm. I'm surprised that they're still trying to push Fantastic Beasts to be part of Universal, since like now that franchise is bombed hard.
Mm-hmm. Which is exactly why I'd like us to think up a better idea.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Uh,
Looks like Shrek 4D is gone. So
yeah, it's gone, and I know the Terminator 2 experience is gone, right? The Battle Across Time. I mean, that was
yeah,
a
so
classic. That was a classic.
and that's actually the first area that I would like to propose.
Mm.
I'm thinking instead of 4 themed areas, I'm thinking 5.
Mm-hmm.
And let's start with classic Universal.
Yeah. So yeah, bring back the Back to the Future ride.
Well, okay.
Bring.
I mean, yeah. Well, it would probably just be it would probably be just like an area called Universal Classics, and
Mm-hmm.
and it would start with Back to the Future, the ride.
Mm-hmm. They get Back to the Future to ride, and I'd probably bring back the Terminator Battle Across Time stage show.
And it would probably
And
be
then
just 4 things.
yeah.
Back to the Future, the ride, Terminator 2, Battle Across Time.
Mm-hmm.
What was it? Jaws.
Yeah. Oh,
And,
they got rid of Jaws from the tram.
yeah, they got rid of Jaws from Amity Island.
Oh, that sucks.
And I'm thinking maybe what's the last one? Wait, DreamWorks does. Wait, what?
Hmm.
Huh? Whatever.
What happened?
I, I I'm just learning now that I really need to go back to Universal Studios Florida soon. Um,
Are they getting rid of something that you liked?
no, not really. Um,
Ah.
let's see. And I'm thinking either Okay, we said Shrek 4D, Jaws, Back to the Future, and what was the
And Terminator.
yeah. Yeah, that works.
Yeah, that works. Yeah, I completely forgot that Trek 4D they got rid of that.
Yeah, it'll probably just turn into the DreamWorks Theater,
Yeah.
and we'll just it'll probably just switch between Shrek 4D and that Kung Fu Panda ride from Universal Studios Japan or
What? There's a
Hollywood.
Kung Fu Panda ride?
Well, it's like a replacement for Shrek 4D that essentially works the same way.
Okay.
So yeah, it'll probably be just like an overlay for that or something.
Interesting.
Yeah, just the DreamWorks Theater, Back to the Future, the ride, Jaws, and Terminator 2, 3D. Yeah. I propose that the next one will be the next section will be Universal Monsters. And I do agree with the sentiment of getting a Universal Monsters theme thing.
Yeah, that would be fun. Do like the classic stuff, and maybe even some of the more well received remake stuff. Like the Brendan Fraser Mummy movies and stuff.
I'm thinking like one of the main attractions is another Studio Lot tour, but this time based around the Universal Monsters, and just showing like locations and I don't know.
Yeah, locations and maybe some like interactive stuff, or not really interactive, but something that's kind of like a show, like what they pass by like an area, like I don't know, a
Like
monster will pop up.
zombies start trying to follow the tram, and they
Yeah, shake it around a little bit.
yeah. Um, there'd probably be. Well, I'm not entirely sure what else there could be as far as like any kind of attraction, because like what else? I'm having a hard time thinking about it.
Yeah, one thing I like really enjoyed about the tram ride when I used to go to Universal Studios, it was around the time the Mummy movies were big.
Oh wait!
And
Actually, I just thought of something. The Beetlejuice
okay.
Rock and Roll Graveyard Review.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, if we, I think that actually worked pretty well, assuming Beetlejuice is owned by Universal. Probably also do Alfred Hitchcock, The Art of Making Movies, and then what else? There's probably like one more thing. Maybe the Bates Motel set. I don't know. Something involving like the movie monsters. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see what else. Okay, so one would be Universal Studios Classics. One would be Universal Monsters. Okay, third one is gonna be Super Nintendo World because
Yeah.
since we already got Mario Kart and Yoshi rides, I'm thinking this will be based. This will have a ride or event based on Legend of Zelda. Actually, wait, no, I'm thinking like. Actually, wait, no. No, wait. Actually, I have a better idea. It'll be a Pokemon Snap themed ride, where you can where you're very much encouraged to take pictures of
Pokemon.
of like Pokemon, mostly really good animatronics or or screens if it's like underwater.
Right.
Yeah.
That would probably be fun.
And you're very much encouraged to take pictures of it.
Yeah.
And then it would be a. What would the other thing be? I'm trying to think. Like, I can't really imagine a Legend of Zelda ride.
Mm-hmm.
Probably just something like some kind of like shop
Yeah.
or something. I don't know.
Yeah, shop, or maybe they could water world it up and make a stage show.
Probably incorporate something akin to when they used to sell the gummy berry juice from Adventures of Gummy Bears back in Disney,
Yeah.
and just have that be red potion, blue potion, and green potion.
Mm-hmm.
Probably also add some Breath of the Wild recipes to the menu of a restaurant.
Mm-hmm. It's like, and then when you order something, it'll make the cooking noise.
No. Actually, like it would work kind of like the Toad House eatery from Japan, where it is like Hyrulean chefs are cooking in the background, and like it does make the noise, but there's way too many people talking in the background, so you can't hear it.
Right.
Um, what else? A general gift shop, most likely based around probably like some kind of Animal Crossing. Yeah, actually, yeah, Timmy and Tommy Nook, like shop.
Oh, that would be fun.
Yeah, like it's a really big shop, like probably the biggest one in Universal Studios itself.
Mm-hmm.
It'd probably be 2 floors,
Yeah.
where they'd have mostly Animal Crossing stuff on the first floor, but general Nintendo stuff on the second floor.
Mm-hmm. But each floor will have a animatronic of the Nooks.
It'd probably just
Kinda-
have like statues, and then everyone's just wearing the Tom Nook and like the Nook aprons.
Yeah. It's like, but whenever you like exit or leave, it'll be like, thank you very much.
Yeah,
But it'll be like in the Animal Crossing streets where like,
yeah, and then Tom Nook occasionally shows up and just I don't know, like Tom Nook is just checking in on things. You can get photo ops with him on the first floor.
yeah,
Oh, and Isabelle shows up because why would she not either?
yeah. And if you try to take photos of Tom Nook, he'll try to charge you for it, like an absurd amount for it, but it turns out just to be a joke.
Yeah, what else? Probably there might be like some kind of Mario ride. I'm not sure what.
Although if there were a Mario ride, they'd probably base it off of the upcoming movie.
Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, so do you have any other ideas for a Mario Nintendo World thing?
Yeah, I mean, I think you hit like the big three with Animal Crossing, Pokemon, and even a little bit of Zelda in there. Trying to figure out how that would work out.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I don't think anyone want like a Donkey Kong.
Oh, there'd be. Oh wait,
experience.
there would be a Pokemon Center shop.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because there's so many around the world. There's barely any in America.
Mm.
I don't think there are any in America, which is why
Parts
they
of-
would find. Yeah, which is why they would finally open up one, and it'd be the biggest one of them all.
And like at the Nintendo Land area, park security will be dressed up as Officer Jenny.
Yeah, they'll probably have at least like some security guards working in that section specifically, looking like office. Well, with the uniform, not necessarily the hair.
Right.
Yeah, I can easily see that. Okay, so that's 3. Do you have any ideas for a 4th one?
Like a fourth world for Universal.
Yeah.
Huh. So you already covered monsters, you covered Nintendo, you covered
Classic theme
class-
parks rides.
classic theme parks rides, ones that were shut down, but you could bring them back.
Oh, actually, I just thought of an idea.
What?
I know there's already a Cartoon Lagoon in Islands of Adventure, but I think something along those lines would work pretty well.
Yeah, I was thinking like something along the lines of like if they wanted to have a dedicated DreamWorks area, they could.
I mean, yeah, they actually I did think about that, but
Yeah.
there's already Shrek 4D. Well, there's already the DreamWorks Theater over in Universal Classics.
Uh-huh.
So that's why I thought that it's fine that they don't.
Yeah. I was thinking like if they wanted to bring in like new stuff that they haven't introduced yet, like if they wanted to have like a I don't know like something based on the bad guys or something, placed in there. That
I'd honestly just go with a third overlay where like it would probably be just like a really big building of DreamWorks Theater,
mm,
but it would be just like three separate theaters doing Shrek 4D, Kung Fu Panda, and Bad Guys themed thing, like one after another, and each one's like 10 minutes long, and you just gotta
mm-hmm.
wait like 5 minutes in a queue or whatever.
Yeah. All right. Well, that sounds like a good idea. But yeah, but in terms of just something for a fourth one, it's kind of hard to uh think of another one.
Yeah, and with that said, I guess now that well.
Yeah, they can't do Marvel stuff because Disney now owns Marvel, so they can't bring any Marvel stuff in there.
So I'm thinking we go back to their roots and have not a Nickelodeon themed area, but just like a I'm calling it Cartoon Studios,
Mm-hmm.
where we're gonna have the rides that never coexisted before.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we're gonna
Murder She Wrote. No, just kidding.
no. We're
Murder
gonna
She Wrote.
we're gonna bring back the Fantastic World of Hanna-Barbera
Okay.
and like make it HD or whatever, just like
Mm-hmm.
update it proper.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's just like an HD film or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna have Jimmy Neutron's Nicktoon Blast,
Mm-hmm.
and then for the final, it's gonna be like just three rides.
Mm-hmm.
What's the last one?
I mean, they could always do stuff based off of recent Universal animated stuff. Like they could make something based around Camp Cretaceous.
Oh hell no.
Yeah, I know, but still. Or the Fast and Furious Spy Racers.
SpongeBob 4D.
Yeah, SpongeBob 4D.
Yeah, because they never properly made like a true SpongeBob thing,
Mm-hmm.
like a true SpongeBob show, and so we're gonna have. I'm trying to think of. Actually, wait. I think Fantastic World of Hanna Barbera might not actually work out
Mm-hmm.
because I'd imagine that Warner Brothers is very adamant on keeping that stuff close to them.
Okay.
So maybe it will just be a Nickelodeon thing.
Mm-hmm.
And they can't recreate the entirety of the Nickelodeon studios, but they can. But what they will do is like they will, well, have a lot of retro merch based on the Nickelodeon studios, the studio tour,
Mm-hmm.
and just play some classic '90s Nicktoon stuff. They will still have ones that are recent. In fact, I'm thinking they can add one new ride, and I want it to be based on a show that really deserves a bigger chance than it had, and it's Glitch Tech's.
Oh yeah.
A Glitch Tech's virtual reality ride.
Now that would be fun. I'd be down for that.
It would work. Let's see. It would probably work like Toy Story Mania
Mm-hmm.
from Disney World, where you just shoot things.
Yeah, just shooting glitches.
Yeah, just like the I forget what the boss's name is, but he'll just say that he's looking for new recruits. Actually, wait, no. Now that I think about it, it'll be like Men in Black Alien Attack.
Oh yeah.
It'll be like a fusion of Midway Mania and Men in Black Alien Attack,
Mm-hmm.
where there's like where there's like a fake person in there pretending to be. Well, there's like a glitch pretending to be a person on either side, and then you'll get your gauntlet in the mail. But for now, you gotta forget, and then he resets everybody.
Mm. That'd be fun.
And then Five and Miko are just running around saying, "You're doing a good job."
Aw, good job. Say some funny quip and some banter, and then they leave, and they're like, "Oh no, another glitch is coming."
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much, and it'll be like Mania, just like them encouraging you to do your best when shooting all the glitches down.
Mm.
It's just, I think that'd be a really nice ride.
Yeah. I think people will really enjoy that. Give glitch techs more attention, more deserved attention.
Yeah, there'll be plenty of walk around characters based on all sorts of characters like Danny Phantom, Fairly Odd Parents, Glitch Tech, SpongeBob, Jimmy Neutron. Just like, it'll probably be the most expensive for the costume department, but I think it'll be
Yeah,
well worth it.
yeah. Because then people will talk about it, like, "Oh, did you see that? See that
And
glitch
then
tech
of
run?
course
That's
there's
so
going to,
amazing."
and of course there's going to be some kind of stage show based on something like you can't say that on you can't do that on television, where
Uh
people
huh.
can get slimed when they don't do things correctly or something. I
Mm-hmm.
don't
Mm-hmm.
know. And they'll probably just be like, I don't know. What else? There'll be plenty of merch stores. There'll be the proper SpongeBob store where SpongeBob 4D is.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there'll be like a overall like Nickelodeon store near the center of the area.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and there's lots of slime and orange splat motifs everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of another ride that I could possibly pitch, but I think three is enough.
Yeah. Three is enough. I mean, you already got all these other worlds that people can walk to, so.
Yeah. And yeah. Now, before we get to the last one, I want to say a few that I know for a fact I do not want. That's because they already exist. I don't want another Simpsons area. Because we already have one and one's enough. I don't want another Marvel area because I think Marvel Superhero Island is going away soon.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'd imagine that Universal will probably want to say, we keep the Simpsons. You can get we can but we keep the Simpsons so long as we get rid of Marvel Superhero Island, so you guys can start doing Marvel Rise in your parks.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. I can't really think of anything else specific. But those four are a good start. But I'm trying to think of a fifth one. You got any ideas?
Uh.
Actually, wait. You do me a favor. Look up. What is it? Look up. Places that are. Well, no, not places. I mean, movies that are from Universal Studios, and give me something.
Duel the experience. That's, you can know the terror of being chased around by a crazy guy in a truck. Let's see. Um,
Hmm.
have a ride based off of Tremors, where you're getting where you're getting harassed by graboids. Oh yeah, Pacific Rim now kind of counts as a Universal property.
No.
No. Let's see. I already have a ton of Jurassic Park stuff.
I think I have an idea.
What's up?
Maybe.
50 Shades the ride.
Oh, fuck no. Spielberg's Amblin Entertainment is mostly canonical with Universal Studios, right?
Yeah. For the most part.
Wait, no. I was just going on about that, but then I thought my idea involved Warner Brothers characters, so no, probably not.
Yeah, probably not.
I was gonna do like a Spielberg Studios area.
Mm. Mm. I mean, if you want to do like a thing that's entirely about Spielberg's Universal output, I mean, it's definitely doable.
Maybe, but I don't want to. I would like to mention that the gift shop for Nickelodeon is going to be like a smaller recreation of the Nickelodeon Studios.
Mm.
Yeah, it'll be like a recreation of the Nickelodeon Studios building, and they will have the slime fountain thingy.
Mm. You know, I'm actually really surprised that there isn't like like a genuine Fast and Furious ride. Like I know there's the one there's that one where the actors did stuff, but it was only part of like the tram or what? It was only like a part of the tram, I think. But I don't think there is there's actually like a genuine like ride based off of that franchise. And you think they would probably make something closer, like akin to the Transformers ride, where they just stick you in a car and do like a kind of a 3D ish ride of you just driving around and avoiding explosions and all that stuff. It's like I'd probably it's like so like if I would be doing something Universal related in a Universal theme park, I'd probably make a like a Fast and Furious ride.
Hold on, wait a minute. Hold on.
What's up?
Huh. Huh. I'm trying to think of what. Let's see. I think I have an idea for something. I'm just not entirely sure. Okay, I have it. Okay, I got it. It'll be action. It'll be Action City.
Okay.
Or wait, okay, maybe not. Wait. Yeah, okay, okay. All right, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Mm.
yeah, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. We're going to bring back Confrontation.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna bring back Earthquake, the big one, or Disaster,
Mm-hmm.
and then we're gonna also bring back where is it? Twister, Ride It Out.
Okay.
Confrontation, Twister, Ride It Out, Earthquake, the big one, or Disaster. What else? And we're gonna have, and we're gonna just like add some kind of generic stunt show thing as the last one.
Okay.
Or in a perfect world, get rid of the Fast and Furious Supercharged and just yeah, you know what? Just get rid of the Fast and Furious Supercharged.
Mm-hmm.
and do nothing because getting rid of that was a good idea. Okay, I'm
Just do
kidding.
nothing.
Maybe. No, 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 not that. I and maybe do the Wild 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 West stunt show. That
Mm-hmm.
sounds pretty actiony.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, and there you go, and then just things based on any potential IPs as well as I don't know. And that should be five. Universal Studios classics, Universal Monsters, Super Nintendo World, Nickelodeon, and Action and and Action Land or no no no
Mm-hmm.
not Action Land. Yeah, the action area,
Mm-hmm.
Action and Adventure Avenue.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, I think that's a decent lineup of potential attractions and so. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
I almost had a heart attack. I thought the live thing was the recording thing. Okay, we've
Oh.
been going for an hour.
Oh, okay, sounds good.
Yeah, I think that's enough speculation, and I really do hope that some of the things that we said might come true. The Universal Classic Monsters and the Super Nintendo World, obviously.
Yeah.
And I mean, I wouldn't mind if the How to Train Your Dragon was just a fourth thing for DreamWorks or the third thing instead of yeah.
Uh-huh.
And I mean, we tried to incorporate as many former attractions in here as possible because we do miss these rides and such.
Yeah, we do, definitely.
Yeah, we managed to get some classics with some miscellaneous things with Back to the Future the ride, um, Shrek 4D into a DreamWorks theater, Jaws,
Mm-hmm.
and what was the other T2 3D Battle Across Time for Universal Classics. Some
Mm-hmm.
decent pitches for a Universal Monsters thing where they do some kind of tour. Oh, and I also forgot to mention a special effects show specifically in that area that would
Mm-hmm.
mostly be focusing on monster movies, but also show off no, I mean makeup effects. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
A proper special effects action based show that shows how a stunt show can be done over in the action and adventure avenue
Mm-hmm.
over in other portion of the park. And then we move on to more family friendly things such as the Super Nintendo World with a Pokemon Snap themed ride, a Animal Crossing shop of Timmy and Tommy Nook, or just the Nook family in general. Um, what else? Uh, it was a Pokemon ride,
Yeah.
a possibly a Zelda kitchen thing.
Mm-hmm.
Probably based on like the horse stable inns from Breath of the Wild.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then we have the Nickelodeon Studios area where it's recreations of the old Nickelodeon Studios, as well as the Jimmy Neutron ride, SpongeBob 4D, and a new Glitch Text ride that's akin
Yeah.
to Toy Story Mania and Men in Black Alien Attack.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, I think that's a pretty good list of things.
Yeah, pretty good lineup.
Oh, and the Action Adventure City would also have Confrontation, Earthquake, and Twister Reddit out.
Yeah.
And a stage show about the Wild West and a special effects show.
Mm-hmm.
A special effects and stunt show, yeah. Alright, that's enough of that, so maybe we'll speculate again for something else sometime. Maybe
Yeah,
not.
fun.
All
We'll
right.
see.
Alright, so this is Blast 6
And this is Equestron.
signing off, and we'll be doing plenty of stuff throughout the summer, I'm sure. So
All
look
right.
forward to that. Later.
Later.